What's up, comrades, and welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Pescador.
And I'm Jemshi. In this new year, we're going to be releasing some new episodes of the podcast, talking about some news related to the world of gaming. And in this episode, we're going to be going over some new game releases expected for the month of January.
We will also discuss the possible demise of Steam, the rise of gaming distribution platforms like Discord and mini platforms, and what this could mean for the gaming industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast, the great spot for all your streaming needs, gaming, and even esports. Starring your hosts, the one and only Pescador and Jemshi.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions, by the way?
To be more disciplined with my time.
That is a fantastic New Year's resolution. I honestly don't have one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
What's something that is there anything you don't want to do? Is there things that like you do that you're like, oh, time wasters or bad habits?
I notice I spend a lot of time actually looking at things on my phone when I go to bed when I should be spending it with my fiance. That's kind of what I should probably work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
guess
I spend a lot of time with the Discord and looking at streamers and things like that. I should probably stop, or not stop, but slow down a little bit with that because I'm sure she's not too happy with it. But
yeah, don't burn yourself out,
trying to be
man.
more in the moment is what I'm trying to do. I guess so.
Yeah, just don't burn yourself out because then whenever you're, I guess burn yourself out on one thing because then when you've got to do other stuff, you don't get too. You're not like a zombie or something.
Talking about zombies. Resident Evil is coming out this month. Oh, Poppy.
Yeah, coming out towards the end of this month. I believe it was January 25th, right?
Something
the
like
Resident
that.
Evil 2 remake.
Remake, not a remaster. So there's a difference between remake and remaster. Remake, they're just completely redoing the whole feel of Resident Evil. Remasters, they're just changing some of the graphics around. So that is a huge difference. But that is coming out this month, and also Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out at the end of this month, actually. So I'm actually really excited about that. Yeah,
because the latest game that was released in the Kingdom Hearts series was back in January of 2017, I believe.
Sounds right. I couldn't.
Yeah, but Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005. And the latest release was in January 2017. So it's been a while since there's been a Kingdom Hearts release. Yeah, and some other games that are coming out this month are Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, Onimusha, Warlords, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. And then we've got a couple of Nintendo releases as well with Mario & Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, and Bowser's Jr.'s Journey, and the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
I'm actually really excited for Kingdom Hearts. From what I understand, they're really going in on this game. They kind of have a large cast, which is of characters, which is awesome. I mean, from what I understand, they're going with Captain Jack Sparrow. They have a lot of people from Pirates of the Caribbean. They also have Rapunzel from Tangled, and they also have Elsa. What is it? I know they have Baymax from Big Hero 6. Yes. I'm actually really excited to play next to that big fluffy dude, but I know that they changed it a little bit from the other ones in that they've added 5 characters that can be in your party, so including yourself, though. So you can have yourself and 4 other people, which is a big difference from the old games.
Right, and I didn't see anything in the trailer. I know that Disney owns Star Wars now, but I don't believe that they incorporate any of that into Kingdom Hearts. Maybe this isn't going to be the last Kingdom Hearts game, though, so they are kind of looking forward to making this a more staple series, because this is by Square Enix, and right now that they've really been focusing a lot of their time on Final Fantasy, so they've kind of been cranking up the numbers. I think they're up to 15 now?
I think, isn't there supposed to be another Final Fantasy coming out sometime soon? I'm not 100% sure about that, but
I know there's been one coming out almost every year.
Yeah, well, so. I can't remember. I know that there's supposed to be another one coming out soon. I'm not 100% sure when, though.
Yeah, we'll cover that when we get when that comes closer. But yeah, so I know that Square Enix has been focusing a lot of their time on Final Fantasy lately because they've kind of been holding off on creating a release for Kingdom Hearts because they've been meaning to get around to creating a lot more releases for it. But a lot of their time and effort has just been pushed towards Final Fantasy, which has just become a bigger game because of that. So with all that success, they don't want to let that game series die. So they've got to keep everybody on their team working on it and creating new releases.
Talking about on their team, I know that I don't know if this is for sure coming out, but I know that The Walking Dead is supposed to be having a game that's supposed to be coming out this month. But you said that they were delayed?
Right. So Telltale Games had kind of a big fiasco later last year. So I think back in September of 2018, they had to shut down kind of just all operations. They laid off pretty much everyone on their team, and they weren't going to be able to continue making any more.
But they ended up doing it, though, right?
Yeah. So what it looks like to me, from what I can tell, there was a lot of news more about the shutdown than there was of the kind of startup again. But a lot of kind of sponsors, kind of people stepped in to kind of help get that company back on its feet again, so that they could finish these games. So that's kind of what we're speculating, is that they might have a new release coming out this month, but it's a little uncertain because they did have that shutdown. So we're not really sure kind of where they will it be coming from, like how the release will go. And so that was pretty surprising to me, just to hear how successful that series has been, that Walking Dead, and the fact that the whole company just had to shut down and there wasn't really any, notice or release or any kind of, real big statement. Just says more that they weren't able to keep up. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if this game comes out or not, comes out on time, see if there's any delays, because it should be coming out later this month.
At about, I guess, Resident Evil 2 remake, excuse me. From what I understand, they used to have this really strange camera angle back in the good old days. It used to be like in a corner of a room, and it was really hard to tell where the hell you were going on the map. Or I guess in the scene, if you would, because you're looking at it from a specific angle. But from what I understand, they changed it, and they made it third person. So you're seeing actually over one of the player's shoulders. So you get some kind of like a Gears of War feel. It's kind of similar to the way they did it in Resident Evil 4. I know that
so they got that over the shoulder look now.
Yeah. So they also did a little bit of recreation on some of the iconic rooms and corridors that they had in the original Resident Evil 2. From what I understand, they moved some of the, or I should guess, rearranged some of the furniture, some of the locations of things, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same.
Right. See, I've never played the original, and I think the original came out when I was probably way too young to even play video games. I think it was
I'm
1998. I think it was.
Yeah,
when Resident Evil 2 came out. Yeah. So I think there's no way my parents would have let me play Resident Evil back when I was.
My uncle actually had it, which was really ridiculous. I remember playing it at his place. And what ended up happening was my parents were kind of away, and they kind of, had my uncle watch me, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to play this game. Are you okay with that?" And I said, yeah, it's fine. I ended up watching over his shoulder, which actually later on I ended up closing my eyes because I couldn't take the sight of some of the zombies. And it was ridiculous because, the graphics back then were, pretty bad. But if you look at it at that time, it was like cutting edge. And it made me scared. And I remember some of the cutscenes that were in there. And man, did they freak me out. But I'm really excited to see what they have done and really change some of this some of this game to actually make it, new again. And I'm real excited about that, actually.
Right. With 20 years of technological advancements, I'm sure the graphics are going to be...
Oh, it has to be. If they
I know
if
for
they
sure I won't
they
be able
need
to
to
watch
stop. Oh, my goodness. Great. No, yeah. Oh, my God. I'll
be watching over your shoulder.
I'd pay to see. That sounds kind of creepy, man. I'd actually pay to see you play that game. I really would. I saw some of the trailer for it, and it made me jump a little bit. Some of the scenes, some of the cutscenes that they had were pretty scary, actually. So
No, I just had to go through the stills that I saw from the.
you couldn't watch the trailers. Yeah, I didn't think.
I didn't want to. I'm sure it wasn't going to be that bad, but I'm not too good with scary things, so I figured I'd keep my distance as much as I could.
Oh my god. Also, Discord has recently announced that they are making a push to become a more reputable game distribution platform in the year of 2019. Discord did this because Steam was having developers jump through hoops in order for them to publish and distribute their games. Whoopsies. I'm going to redo that.
Yeah, you made it sound like you were just like really bored of shit 3D.
I know, right?
Games. And
all right. So, also Discord. Oh my God, Jemshi. All right,
you got to cap
3, 2, 1. Also, all right, 3, 2, 1. Also, Discord has just recently announced that they're making a push to become a more reputable game distribution platform in the year of 2019. And the reason why Discord did this is because Steam is having developers jump through hoops in order for them to publish their games. So developers are looking for a new way to distribute their games. And Jemshi, you're supposed to cut in there, but
I was waiting for mini platforms.
No, I told you no. You wanted to add a little bit to Discord. You said that's why
I thought. Okay,
so
I thought you were just gonna do your spiel. Do you want me to just like start talking in the middle? Like we're just gonna have a conversation instead of you just
sure.
talking?
Sure. So,
I feel like that might just help so that you don't have to.
No. So I'm gonna say that like I guess you could say.
Go ahead.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Also, Discord has recently just announced that they're trying to become a more reputable game distribution platform in the year of 2019. So Discord did this because Steam was having game developers jump through hoops in order to publish and distribute their games.
Right, and I think right now Steam takes 30% of all revenue. So every game that they buy, so let's say they're buying a game for $10, Steam will take $3 of that $10, and only the developer only gets $7. So with Discord, they announced that they're going to go with the 90-10 split. So that means that, Discord's only taking 10% of the revenue as opposed to 30, which is really large when you think about it in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, it really helps out the developers because, they need to spend money, to kind of create this game, hire developers to do that. And then in essence, getting more money in the long run really helps out your company. I mean, it really does.
Right, because when you're selling a game, you need it comes down to numbers. Like if their Steam is taking such a large chunk of their sales, they need to sell more games to make up for that difference that they're taking. And now if it's on Discord, they only need to sell maybe 20% less games to make the same amount of money as if they released it on Steam. So that kind of really does give the opportunity for developers to make games that they otherwise wouldn't have, because if they don't think they're going to make money on a game, they aren't going to release it. They're not going to spend the money to develop this game.
Why would they?
Right. So this does open the doors for a lot of like smaller developers also that are just, indie developers, smaller companies.
So you think that by them doing so gives them free range to, embark in games that would be more risky for them to try to tackle?
Right. And that's the same kind of concept with beta games and releases, that they're trying to just kind of put like an unreleased game out there, trying to figure out, do we need to keep putting more time into this, or is this as far as we're going to take it? If the game's not well received in beta, they might not continue and they'll just leave it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the original concept of beta right now, that people do kind of take advantage of beta, and we fear games that are just stuck in beta forever. But
yeah,
that's kind of the objective with beta, is just to kind of put the game out there to figure out if they're going to keep putting money and time into investing in these games, just create them.
But we've also seen developers actually come out with their own answer to Steam, and that's actually with the mini platform.
Right. So there's a lot of other games and game companies out there that have their own mini platform.
Yeah, Epic Games with Fortnite,
Right.
and then Riot Games with League of Legends.
Yeah, and then we've got, a lot of Blizzard games with the Battle.net, and we've got, Uplay for Ubisoft. We've got, what's another one? Oh, we got NVIDIA, which they kind of have their own. They're really a game company. There's just other game distribution platforms that are out there. And I'm sure there's other ones that I just can't think of right now. I think there's Bethesda. I think they have their own kind of launcher as well.
Bethesda, yeah.
Yeah, so they've all kind of got that. And then the common theme with these mini platforms is that they've all kind of got this large user base. And I believe that that's kind of the key to a successful game platform. So the reason Steam was so successful is that they had such a large user base at the beginning. They sold a lot of good games, such as, Portal, and then one of their big games was Dota 2, and they also had Team Fortress.
Don't forget about, Half-Life. I mean, Valve, just in general, I mean, I loved Half-Life and Half-Life 2. They were fantastic.
Yeah, so they have their own games that they've been selling on that platform, and then once they had enough users on that platform, they were able to start kind of pushing them towards other games, and that's just free marketing for them, for their own games and for other games. So that's they were kind of the first company to kind of take advantage of that.
But if you think about it, I mean, since the early 2000s, I mean, Steam kind of monopolized the gaming industry. I mean, it didn't really give a chance for other, anything else that could really compete with it.
Right. And I think now that, Discord's kind of realized that they have a large user base that is logging in every day. And that's kind of the main, point that they need, the game distribution platform needs to have, is they need to have users that are logging in every day or on a regular basis, because that's kind of what they did with Dota. They had Team Fortress, so they had people logging in every day to play these games. So as you can see, that games like League of Legends, they have their own mini platform. People are logging in every day, and they have a large user base. They could take advantage of this. They could take the route that Discord's taking, and they could have their own mini platform, started releasing games on it.
Absolutely.
And that's what Epic Games has also really announced that they're going to be doing as well. They've got millions of people logging in every day to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
And they have their own game launcher platform for all their own games. So they've announced they're split. They're actually going to, I'm not sure if this is at what time of this year, but they're going to be releasing this. It's they're going to have their own game distribution platform, similar to Discord as well. So they're both kind of competing. They're Steam, Discord, and Epic are all going to kind of be competing for this game distribution platform.
See, and that's the thing, though. I mean, Epic Games, Riot Games, they have really pushed the envelope in a sense, and I think that it shows game developers they don't need to really follow the protocol of using Steam. I mean, think about it. The top games that are being streamed on Twitch, if I remember correctly, the first one is Fortnite. I think next, or very close to next, is League of Legends. And then even games like Path of Exile, they are actually on the rise. So I'm saying, if you truly think about it, they use different distribution or mini platforms, They use mini platforms in order to launch their games in general. So I think that they're really starting to catch on, if I do say so.
Yeah, I think that the idea and the concept of mini platforms is kind of really taken on its own. I don't know. I mean, granted, I'm thinking of right here.
Granted, no, it's fine. But granted, they are free to play games. But I honestly think that developers are trying to figure out a way to get more money, just so they can.
They're trying to monopolize on that user base that's logging in every day. If they can get one or two of those people to just start looking over to, well, not one or two, a couple 100,000. I don't know what number they're thinking. But if they start getting a couple of those people to start looking over into other games that they could possibly sell, I mean, that's one of the downfalls I think of Riot Games right now, is they only really work on League of Legends. They've announced games in the past, and they've never actually you never hear them go through with any of their games that they announced that are in development, and then you hear that it gets canceled. I feel like they really need to start monopolizing on that, either selling their own games on their mini platform, or just kind of going into other games, letting other companies come in, start selling their games on the platform. And I really think that Epic Games is really picking up on this. Discord already currently does so with their own subscription with Discord Nitro. So they've already got game companies coming in and putting their games on their platform. So I really do think that this will be a new concept, that it won't be just Steam anymore. I do believe that.
I mean, I surely hope so, because then if you think about it, they actually create competition in the gaming industry. I mean, or gaming distribution industry. I mean, that could give rise to many different games, many new types of games.
Right. And I think this will also kind of maybe force Steam to change their, what their percentage of cut that they take now. Like, if they start seeing that everybody else, like Discord's only taking 10%, Epic Games is now only going to take 12%, Steam takes 30%. That's 3 times the amount of all these other platforms. So who's going to release a game on Steam when you can choose other ones that have a similar sized user base?
I mean, does that mean it's the end for Steam is the question, though? I mean, with that, do you think that they'll rethink their structure? I mean, I truly think that with all of these coming out and giving game developers those possibilities of, making more money, I truly think that Steam is going to have to rethink their structure if this catches on, if it catches on.
Yeah, I do believe that the Steam will probably kind of go by the wayside if, because the only reason that Steam was big in the first place was their own kind of titles, and they haven't really been releasing any of those. So it's going to go by the wayside if they really don't change their...
But maybe Steam might release a new title like Half-Life 3.
If they release Half-Life 3, yeah. That could save them, honestly. I would see that. But if they don't lower their cut, I can see a lot of gamers or game developers and gamers just moving over to these other platforms. If the gamers are going to go where the games are, and if there's more games on Discord...
where the money's at least.
Yeah, like that's exactly what it's going to be. And developers can release their games for cheaper on Discord if they're taking less of a cut, right?
Right.
So they could even start playing that game as well, where they can start releasing games for cheaper. Well, I got to pay, an extra $2-3 to buy the game on Steam when I could just...
and it might actually create competition with money in general, as in the sense that games might be cheaper. I mean, that could even be a possibility down the road. Making it easier for the gamers. I mean, think about it. Right now, we pay $60 for a game. That kind of sucks. Paying $60 a pop for a new game. Sometimes. I mean, there's games that are free to play, but I mean, are they really free to play? I mean, you pay a ton of money for skins, for loot crates and stuff. It depends on whatever game you're playing. But I mean, I honestly
and this might start kind of creating a better market for games. Is that if they don't if they don't want to have to... Gamers don't want to pay those prices, and they can pay for cheaper on other platforms.
Exactly.
Development companies might have to start lowering the prices on their games, because right now there really is a monopoly for buying on PC.
One could only hope that they lower their game prices. So. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast.
And be sure to also check out our audio podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. We release new episodes every week, so be sure to stay tuned.
And as always, stay rad, comrades.